has stories like that. Thank you.
Resuming debate. Reprise du débat. The honourable member for Port Moody Coquitlam.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is an honor for me to stand in the House today to give my first maiden speech. I'd like to thank my constituents in Port Moody Coquitlam, Anmore and Balcarra for electing me and allowing me the privilege to serve as their Member of Parliament. I'd like to thank my volunteers for knocking on thousands of doors through pouring rain, sweltering heat, and walking up many flights of stairs and steep hills to help me be here today. I'm grateful to my campaign chairs and managers, our EDA, and generous donors for their incredible support. From the idyllic Como Lake to the deep cedar forests of Anmore, the misty blue and green of Rocky Point, and the pastel sunrises of Bedwell Bay, I am blessed to be part of a caring and diverse community that lives in the midst of breathtaking natural beauty. As I was door knocking during my campaign, constituents expressed their concerns on affordability, housing, home ownership, bureaucratic red tape that hinders businesses from thriving, better accessibility to mental health care, employment, the environment, infrastructure, and many more issues. I want to renew my commitment to my constituents today to keep working hard and do my best to ensure their needs are heard and dealt with. I am blessed because of the prayers and encouragement of friends who cheered me on to the finish line and who continue to nourish my soul on this political path. I'd like to thank my parents for their unconditional support and the values of sacrifice, perseverance, and hard work they instilled as I watched them struggle to settle into Canada as first-generation immigrants. I'd like to thank my sisters for their support as we continue to journey together closely through thick and thin. I'm here today because of the people who've shaped me, the circumstances I've lived through, the choices I made, and a measure of providence. In 2008, after 7 years of working for the public school system, I came to a crossroad very much like the one alluded to in Robert Frost's A Road Not Taken. I was grateful for the opportunities I had every day to make a positive impact on my students as a high school English and music teacher, but I felt a longing to explore more of what life had to offer. My hunger for greater purpose and meaning in life compelled me to leave my permanent job and sell my home. I was then ushered into a wilderness journey of living within limited means, serving the hurting and marginalized, and learning about the complexities of the human condition as I served as a missionary in different urban centers. I found myself listening to a lot of stories from the homeless, impoverished families, young drug addicts, adult survivors of childhood trauma. My heart broke and expanded as I came to better understand the depth of human suffering, the cycles of dysfunction, and the power of hope. I found joy in serving. I discovered my life work is to help restore people's lives. So here I am today, Madam Speaker, as a Member of Parliament, to continue working through the life assignment I discovered in the wilderness. I come with a vision of individual and national prosperity and filling in the gaps to make that vision possible. I'm grateful to be serving with a dynamic team of MPs and leaders in Her Majesty's loyal opposition. I am coming to love each member as brothers and sisters. As a pianist and composer and supporter of the arts, I am particularly grateful for my appointment as Deputy Shadow Minister of Canadian Heritage. My view of the Canadian Heritage portfolio is to strengthen patriotism and the unity of our diverse nation through the cultural institutions of our country. I look forward to the work I will be doing with the Honourable Minister Stephen Guilbeault, the Honourable Shadow Minister Stephen Blaney. Sorry, I apologize. Rookie mistake. I look forward to working with the ministers on this portfolio and my colleagues across the aisle on this unique and dynamic portfolio. When I look around this room and look at other members, I see passion for people and passion for causes. Whether or not we share the same views, we're all here because we have a part in a greater purpose. That greater purpose is to serve the people of Canada, their well-being, and to steward well the land we live on. I value the role of different political parties as important parts of a greater ecosystem to prune, refine, and balance our mandates as lawmakers. I hope we will always look to the people we serve as the heartbeat of our work and do so with the integrity, common sense, and unity that Canadians expect of us and deserve. So many times at the doors, Madam Speaker, my constituents express their longing to see the parties working together for the greater good. They say more would get done. I trust the 43rd Parliament we are serving in will provide ample opportunities for us to hit the reset button on Canadian politics and build a culture of honor that allows public discourse to unfold in a safe manner that allows transparency and constructive discussions to thrive. On that note, I would like to thank the Liberal government for bringing forward Bill C-3 for consideration. I support this bill because issues pertaining to the protection of Canadians in our communities is of great importance. From what I've learned, Bill C-98 was introduced in the 42nd Parliament and reintroduced in our current session with slight modifications as Bill C-3. C-3 proposes to repurpose and rename the RCMP Civilian Complaints Commission to the Public Complaints and Review Commission. I would like to thank the RCMP and the CBSA members for their service and hard work to protect Canadians. Public servants across our nation must be held to a standard to uphold the integrity of people who are visiting or passing through our country while ensuring our laws and international laws are upheld. Therefore, an oversight agency as used by police services across our nation, including the RCMP, is agreeable and long overdue. Budget 2019 proposes to invest $24.42 million over 5 years, starting in 2019 to 2020, and $6.83 million per year ongoing to expand the mandate of the Civilian Review and Complaints Commission for the RCMP. It is good to know that a budget has already been allocated. Where I would like more certainty, Madam Speaker, is on the efficacy of how the government will implement Bill C-3 in practice. Oversight is a good thing. People need assurance that there is someone who will be able to look into actions that aren't consistent with the law. The implementation of this bill should not be another expansion of bureaucracy. The Public Complaints and Review Commission should have investigative powers, the ability to review situations and provide feedback and determine the course of action on scope and scale with anyone who violates our laws. Bill C-3 will provide a mechanism for complaints about inappropriate actions by border officers. Police agencies have had civilian oversight and review for decades. It is common practice around the world to provide mechanisms for law enforcement. However, to my knowledge, the bill is not clear on how officers who violate the law, code, or principle will be held accountable. It is only clear that the Public Complaints and Review Committee can examine evidence, call witnesses, and write a report. Without clarity on how the officers will be held to account, we run the risk of creating bureaucracy that appears to provide a mechanism of assurance for Canadians, but in practice will not resolve the issues addressed. While I support this important bill, I look forward to seeing how the House and committee will examine this bill with proper scrutiny to provide certainty that it will be a bill that will be very practical and steered toward just actions and resolutions rather than give the appearance of protection to Canadians. Thank you, Madam Speaker.